Hey, meat suits. It's me, the Immoral Oracle, and I'm coming in today with what I have decided is going to be another conversation. So I'm not really considering this a tarot and oracle reading, although it is, because this is a little bit of continuation energy. This is a different story. Um, and I say that because, the last reading I did on this channel, Chimera came through, which is a like a three-tiered creature, and then under the deck, 9 lives came through. So what ended up happening with that reading, what it taught me was like there really are um different versions of all the same story. And that kind of comes right into what I'm learning in this reading with you here as well. So I will do my best to explain what I mean by that. And I just invite you to have a seat and let's get going about what I saw here. I want to start with the songs that came through. I did do notes again because I actually really liked that last time. I personally struggle with ADHD. I'm a spiritual creature having a human experience, and I have some frontal lobe deficiency. And I'm probably also very likely autistic, or at least all of my friends are. So, but those are all the same parts of the brain. But having said that, I'm finding that I kind of like organizing my thoughts on the paper and sitting with the readings and bringing to you a more well formulated project. So that might be something for someone else right now. Okay, so first, obviously, because all right, we're going to start with. I felt led that this was needing to still be the Alice in Wonderland Oracle deck again. I did that 2 or 3 readings ago on this channel. And you got It's Always Tea Time and Wake Up. So, ironically, though, the reason that Jefferson Airplane came through was not those cards. It was the Wild Child Oracle Inner Garden card that came out, because she talks about the dormouse feeding your head, and this card is all about feeding your head and your body. So we got Jefferson Airplane, White Rabbit, Leonard Skinner, Freebird, Alice in Chains, Rooster, Soundgarden, Black Hole Sun, and Fell on Black Days, Stained Outside, Wake Me Up by Avicii, and Kronos Dancin', which is an Aaron Smith and Kronos remix. So those are a playlist I will make. And if I have the time and energy, I will post them underneath the reading on YouTube in the comments. Okay, so before we actually talk about the Alice in Wonderland Oracle, which is the overarching theme of the reading, I actually want to talk about Wild Child, the Inner Garden card, number 22. So this is a really important energy in this reading, okay? This card is here to talk about growth, the different cycles and seasons. It's always about time to wake up. Introspection, emotional landscape, like inner thoughts, inner feelings. And this card is a lot about taking care of those things and being aware of those things. Okay. So, like, this card wants to actually talk about like practical uses for this energy. And we're going to talk in this reading about mental and emotional weeds. Okay. Recognizing those, pulling those. Like, what are your weeds right now? Was the question that came to mind when I looked at this card. And are you on autopilot? Are there loops or holes that you need to pull yourself out of at this time? This card was really coming through with It's Always Tea Time, Wake Up, and the rest of this meeting as like, there is really truly something, viewer, that you need to process right now. Or, I mean, everybody's on a different timeline. Something that you're just coming out of processing. Okay. But yeah, like, this is about being your own oasis, and when the outside world feels harsh, like having a lush inner landscape, and like having a really juicy fat fucking heart that you can rest yourself into, right? That you can trust and rely on, whether that be within or without, because sometimes you can have that in a partnership, but that's going to be a reflection of the work that you've done on the inside for you to have that, right? So, okay, having said that, I actually thought this was interesting. I don't know if you see here. So this is number 26 and it came out before number 25. But that made sense to me. First of all, I love the Alice in Wonderland deck because it always makes the readings so wonky. Like even the fact that Black Hole Sun came through, that whole video was like an Alice in Wonderland thing to me. If you've ever watched that, I saw that on MTV originally because I'm that old. But 25 came out before or after 26. And the weird thing is 25 is wake up and 26 is it's always tea time, which is about being back asleep. So I just thought that was kind of interesting because they are supposed to be out in this order for you because the endless loop, the let's see, how does it put it here? Eternity, endless moments, repetition, like the endless loop comes before the wake up, right? It's your moment. Which made me think again of the I'm not an Eminem fan and I just like I didn't even get that song right. I mean, I did. Everything that happens in a reading is perfect, but like someone in my last reading is a little bit maybe sexually repressed or or needs to focus more on like the sacral chakra and the root chakra at this time. But anyway, okay. So it's always tea time and wake up. Those are just like straight across energies in this reading. They're not like complicated. I didn't feel the need to like go into them or read them or write them down. Under the deck, you got 29, find the lesson, which is interesting because it's like backwards again, like which is very, very Alice in Wonderland. But this card's all about discovering the purpose in a situation and trust that you are learning. Okay, so that coming under the deck tells me that you're extremely supported in that process at this time. Some of you with inner garden here, I want to talk about literally like practical things that you might be needing to do. And some of this, like going out and getting a notepad, like making lists, like writing down your thoughts and feelings. If you're working on something like organizing a rough draft or organize like some way that you're supposed to or that you would benefit, you should don't listen to me. I'm just a lady on the internet. I don't know what you're supposed to do. But I know that this energy and the last energy and the last reading are telling me that you viewer could benefit right now from getting outside of the box or from getting outside of your usual routine, your usual habits, and really like buckling down and like organizing your life right now, organizing yourself really with inner garden coming in here is what's happening. Okay. And I'm going to move right into the reading. I don't prefer to do 25-minute readings. If that's what spirit needs of me, that's what the universe needs of me. Okay. But like, I would like to do in and out in 9 minutes on this channel. It's not going to happen for this reading, but like, oh God, that reminds me of Blood Nymph. I'm going to let you in and out like a Pop Tart. Oh God, what did she say right there? I'm not a rapper, y'all. Okay. Anyway, all right. We're going to move forward. We're going to move forward. So what you got in the Good Tarot is you got Star in the reverse coming in. And I left it like this just to talk about what that means in this reading. I actually felt led to read. I know what Star means, but I want to read it exactly how it is intended in this book for you. I'm going to turn it for you to see. Okay. So the affirmation and the inspiration that we need to be working with in star energy right now, first of all, coming out reversed, we'll talk about that and then I'll read it. Coming out reversed, this card is telling me that some healing is either being avoided or not quite being like reached. Oh, I hit my mic. There is some healing that is really needing to happen at this time. There is some kind of assimilation that is needing to happen at this time. There is also a way that you are currently dimming your own shine. Okay. And I don't know if that's intentional. I don't know if you're conscientious of that. I'm not sure where you are with this. It's always tea time energy, but like, let's be so for real. This reading is talking about patterns. This reading is talking about some self-defeating patterns, some self-deprecating patterns, some self-sabotaging patterns in your life, ways of thinking, some self-destruction. Honestly, straight up, I am not a mental health professional. I have a lot of experience personally with modalities to heal mental health, to become aware of mental health, but I'm not a mental health professional. Okay. And I have, I'm not responsible for the choices that you make in your life, viewer, but I do want to highly suggest that for someone, there is an awareness of like, or like an admission to the self, maybe even to others, maybe to a professional, maybe to your own support group, whatever it is, that you have been motherfucking depressed. Okay. There is you got the 4 of water under the deck for the good tarot, and you got the 8 of water coming in next. Those are like depression and getting out of depression cards. Those are not like you're in this right now. I don't believe that most of the people that are going to be drawn to this reading are on the timeline of like being stuck in the muck right now. But if you are, like, I see you. Okay. And here's some assistance on how you may be able to move forward and get out. Right. Some of you are at the point where you have recognized this, but you kind of just don't know what the next move is. You don't know what to do next because you don't want to go see a professional, or you don't need to go see a professional, or whatever that is for you. And okay, cool. Then let's talk about what else is coming out here. But so this card is just talking about like needing to be right sized, which is more of this Alice in Wonderland energy. Like, it's your moment. Wake up. It's your time to shine in your own life. Like, you are the main character in your own motherfucking life, right? Are you living it like that? I'm not sure that you have been. Okay. I'm really not sure that you have been. And that's not to say this is no shade, no shame. There is a season for everything. Okay. With It's Always Tea Time, you could have been lulled into, you're a viewer out there who's been working like 7 to 5. You've been like working overtime. You've been doing all this shit for years and years and years just to survive. Okay. You're valid. I see you. Right? Or you just maybe, you stumbled into a portion of your life that like just wasn't what you expected it to be. You had kids, you settled down, like whatever, fill in the blank. Like maybe you didn't have kids, maybe, like however it went for you, you could have just got stuck on repeat, kind of like numb, kind of disconnected, kind of just not really living in awareness anymore. Right? But it's time to wake up. It's your time to shine. Okay. So this card wants to talk to you about inspiration. This card is literally saying, like, repeat after me if you need to. I am hopeful and inspired by life right now. This is the energy that you need to be in, because, like, that's this way that we're talking about it. So this is probably something that you're right on the verge of feeling, or like maybe you're not quite there yet. So Spirit's talking to you in this way right now. Okay, I'm hopeful and inspired by life right now, and everything that is happening points to a renewed sense of encouragement. After all the changes I have experienced, I am starting to recognize the hope that comes with new beginnings. This card is here to say, let's recognize the hope. Let's mentally kind of like shake off the slump that we've been in, the ways that we've been thinking about viewing our lives. Let's shake that shit, shake it up, like, and let's fucking like let's move forward with something else here. Okay. I want to talk about the 8 of water. This is important with the 4 of water under the deck. Okay. Because the 4 of water is about being like a little bit stuck in it, not seeing the forest through the trees. In traditional tarot, this is like someone is just looking at all the spilled cups and not looking at the one cup being handed to them. This is just about like a need to process emotions. Well, here we are in 8. Okay. 8 is like, I will no longer hold on to what isn't right for me, emotionally or otherwise, right? 8 is like fearlessly examining where you've been, where you're going, consciously choosing the path that is right for you moving forward over the one that seems likely to draw you into it, meaning like over the one that you would do on autopilot, or that you would do based on past experiences, or based on keeping yourself small for safety in the past, right? Or just straight up not being self-aware and like learning a lesson over and over and over because you weren't actually learning it, right? This card is like shaking that off. This is like being true to the heart. This is a journey through the heart, like, which came up in the last reading. So like, what is that? Like, you see this treasure chest here? Like, yeah, this person is like leaving this ship behind, and they need to walk onto a different journey, and like there's some shit they need to leave behind. But the 8 of water always talks about the emotional treasure of the journey and of the lesson. And it's about the conscious decision to say, like the star, like, everything has been for my benefit. That came up in the last reading as well. So maybe we're just looking at things a different way, which would make sense for this reading. Okay, but this is not like an extent, like a continuation reading in a way, I guess. I just want to say that. You don't have to necessarily like have seen the last one or even go back and watch the last one for this to make sense to you. You can if you feel so led, right? Like maybe I'll link that in the comments, I don't know. But anyway, focus. Okay. This card is about it, and really these two cards here with the star is like it, if you haven't already, it's time to acknowledge and just kind of feel your feelings. A lot of the songs that came up were quite depressive or like reflecting on things. Like one of them is literally about being like a vet basically, and kind of like a Vietnam vet, and like not really fitting into life anymore and still carrying some of those scars, like. And that's why Inner Garden and it's always tea time and wake up are like really here to say to you, it's about changing how you're interacting with these energies, because we're going to move into Hermit next after Eight of Water. This is like intensely auspicious. Okay, this is like Hermit energy. So, well, first of all, I want to say, if you're someone who has been depressed, this is like you have been keeping to yourself. And I want to encourage you that this reading is saying that while that is good and necessary, because Hermit is a very powerful and reflective energy. Okay, it's about going within, it's about finding your light within. In traditional tarot, it's a picture of like a guy holding a lamp, and the light inside of the lamp is the star, almost like Tinkerbell, which is like, is carrying your healing out into the world, is carrying your healing, like going within and really looking at some things. Okay, so Hermit energy can be great and is important. It's major arcana. It's not lessons that we get to go around in this life, right? So that's important here. And I want to talk about really quick. I feel led to read these lyrics from the White Rabbit Jefferson Airplane. And it says, and if you know you're going to chase rabbits and you know you're going to fall, tell them a hookah smoking caterpillar as has given you has given you the call, has given you the call, sorry, has given you the call. He called Alice when she was small, when she was still small. So this is like bringing the healing to the forefront. Okay, this is about really being honest with yourself. Okay, I'm going to lose some people at this part of the reading. I've just learned in life a lot of people can't or won't do that, right? They can't or won't face their demons. They can't or won't like look at how they are a part of their own lesson, how they have been a part of their own destruction, how they're thinking, like how literally, like, oh gosh, what's coming up right now? Sorry, there's another. I sometimes just have to write down these lyrics so that I understand. This card is about, yeah, like challenging one's own thinking. Because if you like claim that you're stuck, right? If you're like, oh, I'm stuck, like how Freebird, Leonard Skinner was coming up. And it was like, I know that I can't change. Well, is that true? Is that true? And is that what you want? Do you want to keep reliving this tea time? Do you want to keep feeling like unfulfilled, disappointed with your life? Do you want to keep living in that instead of in the discernment of like how you've played a role, what you've accepted? Like it's not always about you. Like you can be a wonderful person and still have to learn these lessons, right? Because it's not always about it. Like if you've allowed people to walk all over you, or if you have not believed that you were worth more, and so you have settled for less in a job, in relationships, in life in general, it like, um if you've never challenged, if you've never like admitted to yourself, say you're someone who, you had one or both parents that were like just garbage, and you're like, the way that that parent spoke to me really did affect me, and I still hear them in my head sometimes, and like I have to really just kind of like own that and shift that narrative, like, or whatever this is. Like you can be a wonderful person, and we all are here needing to grow. Like only the shittiest people on the planet are like, I'm perfect, right? Only the shittiest people on the planet don't have any growing or learning to do, right? That's really how I feel about that. So I want to talk about um Oh, no, Alice in Change is not right here. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to read it because Spirit said read it. So, um, Alice in Alice in Chains. I need to slow down. I'm getting very excited for you. Said in Rooster, they said, ain't found a way to kill me yet. Seems like every path leads me nowhere. They've come to snuff the rooster, but he ain't gonna die. Right. So I say that because um how are you thinking? Like how are you really viewing the past and the things that you've been through? Because are you maybe even guilty even in situations where like there's no fucking way in it, like no way shape or form that you deserved that shit? Well, is your part that you keep living in it, that you keep reliving it emotionally, or that you keep allowing it to tell you like, oh, I can't have other good things in the future because, you know, I can't shine too bright, I can't hope on that thing. The star is also hope, right? I can't hope on that thing because then I might be disappointed. And this isn't me like minimizing that shit's real. Okay, that shit's real, but like take it into the hermit and then get off your ass with it. Like, what do you need to do? Do you need to write down affirmations? Do you need to say them in the mirror? Do you need to just read something? Like, are you someone who could just like maybe read a book and do a little journaling? Like, do you just need to shift the type of music that you're intaking? Like, what? Let's meet here at the hermit. Let's find the lesson and let's get moving, because next you have the page of air, and there's a lot in the page of air here for you. So the page of air is stepping in. This is literally like a new mind, first of all, okay? This is like being willing to kind of have the mind of a child. And I'm not telling you to be dumb or naive, okay? I'm just asking you, spirit, the universe, whatever it is that you do or don't work with or believe in, whatever, it doesn't matter, okay? I'm just a mouthpiece, and your guidance system will let you know internally if what I'm saying is right for you or not. But this card is just about curiosity and being willing to investigate. But if you already know everything, what are you investigating, right? So, like, this card talks about challenging that inner mental landscape, that inner emotional landscape, and asks you to be willing to view it through a different lens, or simply to speak it into existence, like differently moving forward. Yes, that sucked and that hurt. I'm still going to remain soft-hearted and be willing to hope. I'm still going to go ahead and try. I'm still going to be committed to speaking my truth, like whatever that is for you, right? But I also want you to look at her, how she's dancing. Something that I need to share with you, okay? Because I recognize these energies. I'm not in this right now. I haven't been here for a while, but a couple of years ago, I had some really serious, very serious, I could have passed away things happen with my health. And um, the thing is, like, how I engaged with it mentally had everything to do with my ability to recover. Okay, because well, first of all, I had to make the choice, the decision that I wanted to live, right? I mean, that's first and foremost. Like, oh, hey, you have cancer. Do you want to treat it? Like, do you know? And people, everybody is different. Okay, not everybody wants to live, right? So that is a choice, and even beyond that, like, we're making a choice when we wake up every day. Like, today I'm going to live. This reading is saying maybe you haven't been. Maybe you haven't been intentionally and like actively choosing to live. And that could just mean like to live big, or to live your best life, or to live in ways that are authentic to you, or whatever. It might not literally be like, do I want to live? But with some of the depression here, someone needs to ask themselves that. But again, I'm not a mental health professional. But okay. So the way I engaged with myself mentally had everything to do with like getting well emotionally and physically for me, like spiritually, if you want to take it there, or whatever. I did a lot of different things. I did like a lot of different things. I just had to do a lot of letting it be both things. Like, this can somehow be the worst thing I've ever lived through, and I've actually lived through worse as well. Like, right? Because in that moment, both of those things were true for me. And like, I'm not going to get too far into my own shit, But I'm sharing this because that's the best way I know how to give guidance, or like how to explain what I see in the energy. Okay. And then once I physically was out of the woods, and I was focused all the time on rebuilding my physical health, and that had everything to do with how I ate, the songs I listened to, like the people I was surrounding myself with, like, my living situations, like all of that. Um, and then it was like, okay, I have to start fostering some joy. I'm going to bring this card in because she's talking to you too. I have to start fostering some joy. Like, I have to start creating joy. I have to start creating life, like, and getting energy moving. Did I also need to really feel my feelings and acknowledge, like, God damn, yes. And I needed friends that would sometimes just let me talk about that. So, like, if you need that, do it. Like, if you need whatever, okay, you need to write about it. If you need to sing about it, if you need to, we'll get to it, dance about it. Because then it was like, you know what I need? I needed to return to things that made me feel alive when I was a teenager, and like when I was in a different place in my life. So I went back to raving, right? And I went back to shows. I got back into the different communities for music and whatnot. But like these things were really important for me. And I went sober, right? You don't have to. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, physically, my health, I needed to be, but I still needed to go and dance. I still needed to go and be around people and hear the music, and certain frequencies. Actually, there are studies that say they literally heal the body, which is why I wasn't saying you need to listen to those things in particular, but like there is a shift where it's like some of you are listening to depressive music and need to be aware of that because it's kind of feeding into those feelings in your body, and you need to just lighten it up a little bit, whether that's by speaking up, whether that's by dancing, whatever that is. This card is about saying, I don't know. Like, maybe I don't have all the answers. Maybe I can learn something and do something differently. This card is about asking, like, if I explore this, what can I learn? If I'm willing to think that maybe good things can happen for me, maybe everything that's been terrible that I've gone through has happened for me, like however you need to frame this. And I'm not talking about like sometimes in certain religions or whatever, certain communities, there can be like an extreme bypassing of like this energy of like, what do you mean? I'm not sad. Like, meanwhile, you're like literally dragging yourself across broken glass on the floor, bleeding everywhere. And you're like, I'm fine. Like, that's not what we're talking about here. But we are talking about engaging differently, like with your feelings, with your body, with your emotions, with your thinking, right? In new ways, like challenging your thinking. Like I was saying earlier, like, oh, nothing ever works out for me. Is that true? Is that true? Because like here you are, you're still here, there's still hope. If you're not fucking dead, I don't even care if you're 75, like tomorrow can be different. Okay, but what are you going to do to make it different? Are you going to go dance? Are you going to, this is just me sharing like what works for me. I don't know what people like. Maybe you like woodworking. Maybe you like whittling, right? Maybe you like playing the flute. Maybe like, I don't know your life, but whatever it is for you. Maybe you like, oh, some of you meditate. Okay, following your breath. Um, it's just look at how free this page of air is right now. Okay. And Avicii does want to talk the song Wake Me Up. I want to go over some lyrics for that really quick. But Dancing Coming Up was literally saying like, even if you just tap your toes in the car while you sing something that is kind of light, like, or whatever, like, yeah, you need that right now. You do. You just need, well, I don't want to say you just need, but it could start as small as maybe things can be different. Maybe this is different. Oh my God, 30 minutes. I'm going to leave you with these lyrics right now, probably. I might pull a Starseeds card. Okay. Avicii, Wake Me Up. I tried carrying the weight of the world, but I only have two hands. I hope I get the chance to travel the world, but I don't have any plans. Sit down with your pen and paper, some of you. Okay. Get a vision board going. Like, what are we doing? The mind actually doesn't know. There are studies that say if you like sit and fantasize, truly like feel the feeling of driving a new car and like literally you're looking at the dashboard in the car, like in your mind's eye, your body does not know the difference, then that's actually happening for you. Okay. If this is like, I want love and I feel like maybe I have the opportunity to receive love, but like it's probably going to go, like nothing ever works out for me, the shoe's going to drop, like whatever, like stop that. Stop that. Maybe it won't, maybe it's different, like whatever this is. Okay. But I don't have any plans. Not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game made for everyone. Okay. If you've been in like only these types of people succeed or only those people, like nothing ever works out for me, mind frame, this is a really important lyric for you. Not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game made for everyone, and love is the prize. You are love, first of all, right? Your inner landscape. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. You think you've been living, but like, have you been? It's time. I'm not going to pull another card. Until next time, be well. I love you so much.